So I'm going to continue on with the Illuminati series of videos that I've been making, because I've obviously made a Patreon and a YouTube of my journey through going through each of the books of the Pythagorean Illuminati, because there are no other more important books that I have come across, and I am continuing to document my experience in my journey, like with the enlightened ones, like to the Illuminati, to find the Illuminati, like to be on the same mission as the Illuminati, which is overthrowing the elite. And the last videos that I've made in the Illuminati series, I started out like about how they're the oldest secret society in the world. It began with the Fosters being the Illuminators being brought down out from outside of the Demiurge to illuminate like some mystic holy men in the desert, and then they found their way to King Solomon. Like King Solomon got the knowledge from these holy men and basically formed the Illuminati. But this was before they were called the Illuminati, because they actually gained that name in the Roman days. Then it went to the lineage. It went to Greece, and then Pythagoras was the first Grand Master of the Illuminati, and their presence have been around since their inception, and it still is to this day. And they have come out with the greatest work I have ever come across in my life, with 37 different authors writing 264 different books. They have 4 different Patreons right now with like 50 posts each in each site. It's just like the amount of knowledge is tremendous. Like, and then once you start reading these books, you really it's like you really start losing interest in like the UFOs, conspiracies, secret societies, like all that is in all of their books, explained in their books. So the last video that I did was on the Gracchi, which were the Gracchus brothers, they were Illuminati, and they were plebeian, boys that were raised by their mom, and to be good men, and they ended up being able to have a voice for the people, which the people are the populars and the plebeians. And in Rome, because the Illuminati refer to Rome a lot, because this is the same thing that's going on. Like, nothing has changed. The old world order that rules then still rules today, and this is Rome, except in modern day. And Optimates and Populars. The Optimates were the elite. The Populars were the people. They actually got a voice in the government, because everybody in the empire, in the republic, went on strike, like stopped working, stopped doing everything, and then that's when they actually got a voice in the Senate, like with the elite, and they were heard out, and the Gracchus brothers were actually tribunes of the people. And they were Illuminati, and they were actually making reforms and stuff in the government, and the elite didn't like that. The elite optimists didn't like that, and ended up killing the Gracchus brothers, because they were like getting redistribution of land, and like wealth and rights to people, and the elite didn't like that, and they had them killed. Which is the same thing that happens today. The corruption is the same. So part of the project that the Illuminati has been involved in is, like, they have a Patreon called Hollywood Patient Zero, which basically just talks about Rome, and its connection with the modern day, which is a very extremely interesting topic. And so, this is the lineage of the Illuminati. And Spartacus is one of the key figures in the lineage, because they go in this book, they go into what Spartacus did, like, for the slaves, and because he was a gladiator, and he rebelled, and he started an army, and they rose up, and they were like definitely fighting with with Rome, and that's what it was taking, like, and that's what it's going to take, is a revolution, like, and they have been violent in the past, because they have needed to be violent in order to be heard, and there is a way for it not to be violent, and it is 100% inheritance tax. The people demanding 100% inheritance tax. That is the answer for not having violence. So, I'm going to talk about Spartacus. Spartacus was a great hero in the war against the elite. He led a slave uprising against Rome that shook the Republic to its core. He stood for the oppressed against the slave-owning patricians, for justice for the downtrodden, for freedom against tyranny. After winning several spectacular victories, his rebellion was finally crushed with ferocious violence. Tens of thousands of slaves died in the last battle, including, it is thought, Spartacus himself, though his body was never identified. 6,000 captured rebels were crucified along either side of Appian Way leading to Rome. Although he had no connection with the Illuminati, Spartacus was greatly admired by the order, to the extent that Grand Master Adam Weishaupt chose to be known as Brother Spartacus within the order. Those absurd people who consider Weishaupt a secret member of the elite must find it somewhat perplexing that he chose for himself the name of a slave who wanted to destroy the evil rulers of the world. And that is a good point for, like, the Armageddon conspiracy, because this is going through Spartacus and how he was a hero in the war against the elite. He led a slave uprising that shook the Republic. It definitely led to everybody getting slaughtered. He didn't have a connection with the Illuminati. He wasn't actually in the Illuminati, but obviously what he did is revered by the Illuminati. And that's Adam Weishaupt chose his name, Brother Spartacus, to honor Spartacus. And on the internet and stuff like that, when you're doing study, especially about the Illuminati, it's all like made for you to think that they're bad, and especially Adam Weishaupt, because I know people in the conspiracy community that are at the top level that still think Adam Weishaupt was a bad guy because of what they have gathered on the internet. But the actual Illuminati are explaining how he's not a bad guy, how he's one of the Grand Masters, how he had one of his name's brother Spartacus to honor Spartacus, the gladiator that rose up against the elite. So that explains what the Illuminati are about. Like they are not the bad guys. They are the good guys. They are the heroes in the story that are fighting against the elite. And Adam Weishaupt was in fact the most revolutionary of all the Grand Masters of the Illuminati, and detested the elite to the point of obsession. It was who coordinated all of the Illuminati's actions throughout both the American and French revolutions. He was hardline and uncompromising. My phone went dead there, but this is definitely explaining some truth about Grandmaster Adam Weishaupt, because most people in the community, like not everybody, think that he's a bad guy, and that needs to be cleared up. Like the record needs to be definitely set straight on that, and the Illuminati are setting the record straight. So yeah, he was the leader of the revolutions, American and French revolutions. It was his actions throughout the American revolutions that coordinated the revolutions. It was Weishaupt who encouraged the Jacobin leaders in France to implement the terror to eradicate aristocrats and counter-revolutionaries. So yeah, he did say there needed to be terror to scare the rich people. The poor people needed to incite terror, which is obviously extreme, but like that is what is needing to take place unless we agree upon 100% inheritance tax. The elite have to be scared of the people. That's what has to happen. It's not instead of them controlling us. So yeah, Adam Weishaupt was definitely extreme, and it did end up with the king getting his head chopped off. He argued that a sign had to be sent to the whole world that the elite were not indestructible, that they were mortals who could be struck down just as easily as they themselves normally struck down the ordinary people. Weishaupt frequently pointed out how the Gracchus brothers were assassinated without hesitation by the elite, and the followers of Spartacus were exterminated. Why were the elite never condemned for their savagery, for the terror they inflicted on the people as a matter of course, and with the total impunity? The people had to show that they would treat the elite exactly as the elite treated them. Only then would the elite learn their lesson. And this is what's up though, because how the elite have treated the people has just been so sick. It makes me so sick. And oh my God, we like this is the actually creed of Assassin's Creed is stay your blade away from innocent people. But this is why in Assassin's Creed they were fucking killing these motherfuckers that were involved in this stuff, because they're that bad, and they need to have terror instilled in them, and it needs to be from the people. So they need to feel the power of the people. Like they need to feel their empire crumbling down, and they are feeling that right now. and they're losing control of the people, because they're losing control of the people because the people have been treated so bad and the economy is so bad that they're not able to hide everything now, and that's gonna lead in another revolution. So, like, actually, when this election happens, you know, it can actually go, you know, two ways. Like, I mean, you know, it can go many different ways, but two of the ways is like it's going to be civil war or it's going to be a revolution. Because we do, instead of fighting each other, we do have to get together and agree upon a common understanding, which the Illuminati definitely provide in all of their books, and they are the third way, not Republican conservative, not you know, liberal conservative, Republican Democrat, woke, you know, different religion. Like, they explain who they are and how they have the key to a new society. So Weishaupt's stance remains very controversial within the Illuminati. Some have argued that he went too far. Others that the elite had to be taught a lesson they would never forget. So that's saying that some people in the Illuminati thought that he went too far with, you know, the terror that was instilled in the French revolutions and stuff, and how they were chopping off the head of kings and, you know, doing things to the elite. But that's what the people have to do. And we have to stand up and rise up. And the government is part of the control that's been happening to us, so we have to demand a new government, which would be meritocracy, which is what a meritocrat is someone that supports a meritocracy, not a democracy, which is freedom and democracy. Like, that's what it is, because it's corrupt now and it's not going to get uncorrupt until it completely falls and we stop supporting it. So that was about Spartacus, and you know, very like it's just we have to get together. We have to create like clubs in cities about talking about what to do about the government to change it, and not keep supporting it, not vote for the elections, you know what I'm saying? Like, actually to change the government. And the Illuminati definitely have everything worked out. That's why I've taken the time to go through these books, because they explain meritocracy, they explain social national capitalism, they explain illumination, you know, to replace all of the things that are falling right now. And there's a reason why they're able to do that. Okay, so, you know, my goal is to finish every one of these books. Like, I'm going to make a lesson on every one of these books. And there's so much information, because it is a school. It is definitely a mystery school. So yeah, welcome. The ancient history of the Illuminati. The origins of the Illuminati stretch far back in prehistory, but as a formal organization, the Illuminati began, as has been mentioned, as the mystery school of Pythagoras in the Greek colony of Croton in southern Italy. The Illuminati prospered for a time before being savagely attacked by enemies envious of their secret knowledge. Most were killed, including Pythagoras himself. The survivors escaped to Greece and set up a new school. For safety, the Illuminati kept on the move, relocating every 10 years throughout Greek city-states and their colonies, and then in the countries conquered by Alexander the Great, including Syria, Egypt, Babylonia, Persia, and northern India. As the Star of Rome rose, the Illuminati made their base in Rome, and then its provinces of the Roman Empire. Around 200 CE, the order established itself in the intellectual center of the world, Alexandria in Egypt. It remained there until the brutal execution of Grandmaster Hypatia in 415 CE at the hands of the Christians. So, this is just explaining the lineage and the history of the Illuminati and how it went to all the great civilizations, like, start with Pythagoras in southern Italy, and, went on to Greece, and then, other, like Syria, Egypt, Babylonia, Persia, northern India, and then set up in Rome. And then, like, it just outlines the whole, where they went, where they moved to, how they maintained together throughout time, which is incredible, like, knowledge to know that they're revealing. And, it said, in 200 CE, they established their order in Alexandria in Egypt. So they're just confirming the history of the Illuminati, like the enlightened ones, not the Illuminati that everybody thinks is the Illuminati, because I would say 99% of the world thinks the Illuminati are the elite, the dark ones, and that's something that needs to change. So I'm gonna keep hammering that in, like, because that is the only way to change. Because unless you know that the Illuminati are the heroes, then like you will not be able to know the truth. And this talks about they moved when Hypatia was executed in Egypt, and Hypatia was one of the Grand Masters. Like a woman. Well, actually, she was the only woman. I think, that was a Grand Master. She was an astronomer and a philosopher, and just a Grand Master of the Illuminati. And the Christians executed her. So there's obviously been a lot of misunderstanding about what's going on, but the Illuminati definitely clear some things up. In Bertrand Russell's book on the history of Western philosophy, he provides his horrific description of what transpired. Saint Cyril, the advocate of unity, was a man of fanatical zeal. He used his position as patriarch of Alexandria to incite pogroms against the very large Jewish colony in Alexandria. His chief claim to fame is the lynching of Hypatia, a distinguished lady who, in an age of bigotry, adhered to the Neoplatonic philosophy and devoted her talents to mathematics. She was torn from her chariot, stripped naked, dragged to the church, and inhumanely butchered by the hands of Peter the Reader and a troop of savage and merciless fanatics. Her flesh was scraped from her bones with sharp oyster shells, and her quivering limbs were delivered to the flames. After this, Alexandria was no longer troubled by philosophers. Oh man. That's some pretty, if there, Jesus Christ was Jesus Christ, but Hypatia sounds pretty bad too. What happened to Hypatia sounds pretty bad. And the Illuminati reveal what happened to Hypatia. And that's because she was a philosopher, an astronomer, like a great thinker, like one of the Grand Masters, and obviously that wasn't able to be hidden from, from the enemy. But that the light has to come out, of each and every single individual. The divine spark in every soul has to come out, because it's actually the purpose of the universe, as being a God factory, to make gods out of the souls, which are monads, which are minds, that each go through lifetimes to become God, and then reach their omega point at the end. And this is all illumination, like the religion of the Illuminati. As in the time of Pythagoras, the Grand Master was not only illuminatus to perish, or as in the time of Pythagoras, the Grand Master was not the only illuminatus to perish. The Christians slaughtered hundreds, many of the finest minds of the ancient world, and most of their precious writings were destroyed with them. The survivors were in a quandary about where to go and rebuild. The Roman Empire was collapsing. Alaric in 410 CE had sacked Rome itself. Barbarians and Christian extremists were everywhere. The Illuminati decided to go to a remote, well-protected country on the fringe of the empire that they had idled in ancient times, and where they had been based prior to moving to Alexandria in the first place. That country was Britain. The Romans had only just departed, the final withdrawals taking place in about 407 CE, and the country was still relatively stable and civilized, although there were problems with barbarians. These were not as bad as in many other areas of the disintegrating Roman Empire. Moreover, many Britons had not yet succumbed to Christianity, or only at a superficial level, and there were still vestiges of ancient Enlightenment religions, of paganism, most especially Druidism. And this is talking about, what happened when they moved out of Rome, because the empire fell, and they had the secret society that, was preserving this knowledge, and they got out of Rome, and they went to they went to Britain. Yeah, they went to Britain next. So that continues the line. They went from Rome to Britain. So the lineage can be continued, through all these times and places of the Illuminati, which is obviously important to document, so you can continue to see the continuance. So, the Illuminati stayed in Britain for the next few hundred years. And it is in this period that the historical events took place that furnished the basis for the future tales of Arthur, Merlin, Camelot, and the Knights of the Round Table. Because, they go... Okay, my phone just went. But they go into the Knights of the Round Table and Arthur and Camelot, because all the Grail tales and legends come from the Illuminati. So, yeah. Basically, Tales of Arthur, Merlin, Camelot, and the Knights of the Round Table, and of the Wasteland, and of the quest for the Holy Grail, which is of course pagan and not Christian. So they're just, I love reading the truth, because you feel it when you hear it, and that's why I'm reading all these books, because it is incredible. It is incredible how much like knowledge is contained in these books, and oh man, it changes everything once you find your way to the Illuminati. They definitely talk about how it's a transformative experience. The Knights of the Round Table, embarking on a holy mission to find the Grail, became the model for the future Knights Templar, a tightly knit group of holy knights dedicating their lives to sacred tasks. Merlin, a druid, became the template for the future alchemist. Camelot became the symbol for a city of God on earth, the perfect city-state to which humanity should aspire. The Round Table became the symbol of meritocracy over privilege. Arthur became the symbol of leaders dedicated to higher ends rather than greed and self-interest. The Wasteland became the symbol of both the satanic Abrahamic world and the barbarian hordes flooding across Europe. So this is, oh man, they're talking about all this for a reason, because, this is explaining the whole Holy Grail, the whole, everybody's role in it. Merlin being a druid, Arthur being the representation of a leader, and the Round Table being meritocracy over privilege. Like, this is the way that a place should be, and actually this place does exist, and the secret society of the Illuminati. This is the way that they run things, and have continued to run things since their inception. The Gnostic religion of Arthur and his realm became the template for the future Gnostic religion of Catharism, the religion of the pure ones. The priests of the Cathars were called the Perfecti, the perfect ones, those who had dedicated themselves to achieving enlightenment and becoming perfect, becoming God. Female perfects were called the Perfectae. Women, unlike in Christianity, were eligible for all the same religious positions as men. Now you have seen the trail that leads from Pythagoras to Rome to Alexandria to Arthurian Britain, and then to alchemy, the Cathars, and the Knights Templar. So yeah, they just connected everything up right there. And in the secret society, like the religion, and with the Cathars and the alchemy and Knights Templar, and the secret that they hid, and the knowledge that they hid, is what the Illuminati are talking about in their books. So the Cathars, I definitely had my, when I started waking up and I was like, I've been a Knight Templar in a past life, because I remember my past lives, and I remember, being in a castle and the castle getting sieged, and flaming rocks coming in, and people running around, and very frantically, and I remember the feeling of this, I could be dying here, came to me, and people were coming up and calling me Lord, and that's when I started having those memories come back of those times. I put together that I was a Knight Templar, and also because of what I believe in, Gnostically, and that I come from that lineage. So that's how I put everything together, with my personal experience with understanding me being Gnostic, which led me to finding the Illuminati. So I'm gonna end there, and the next chapter is called The Hidden Light. But it just gets better. It just gets better as I go along, and I'm not gonna stop doing these videos because it's part of the great work that I have. Becoming God is definitely great work. So, but once you connect with that, everything that you need for that definitely comes. So, the universe has your back. All right, until next time.